Terry, for our viewers just joining us now that missed our reports earlier in the broadcast, let's catch them up to speed first. This all began as a traffic stop down in Argus. Police there were stopping the vehicle for suspected drunk driving. The driver, however, took off. This quickly turned into a pursuit with Marshall County, Argus, DNR, and Walkerton police officers. I'm going to step aside here and have our photojournalist Scott Palmer actually zoom in. The suspect vehicle is still parked there. It has its hazard lights on. It's a red pickup of some sort. Police say the driver of that vehicle came to a stop there with police cars behind him. He went out, ran into this field off of Quince Road and US 6. Police officers screaming for the man to stop. He did not. Police say he turned around and shot 2 shots from his gun at officers. At that point, they returned fire. The suspect hit multiple times. We do not know how many, though, and where he was shot. Police, once they handled the scene and got that suspect's gun, called paramedics who transported the man to Memorial Hospital. But like you said, Terry, we have confirmation tonight that that man has passed. At 11 at the top of the show, Terry, you asked if the suspect was from the area. We have confirmed that he is from the area. However, police are withholding his identity for notification of family members. However, police do say that we should have his name by the morning. So make sure to keep tabs on WNG.com and also tune in 16 Morning News with Tricia and Frank. We expect to have his name there. US 6, though, has reopened for about an hour period. They did have US 6 shut down to traffic, but that is reopened. Indiana State Police currently investigating, detectives on the scene, but expected to wrap up this investigation within the next hour or so.
All right, and Kevin, there were some reports that perhaps this guy was driving, well, obviously he's being chased by police, but maybe driving recklessly, endangering other drivers. Do we have any knowledge that perhaps he clipped any other cars or hit any other cars, or was this mainly between the police and this gentleman they were pursuing?
We haven't heard any reports of any other cars being involved. Of course, this is a night where weather is an issue. We have snow, sleet, rain throughout parts of Michiana. It's primarily rain here, but definitely a night not to be running from police if there ever is one. But no reports that any other cars involved.
All right, Kevin Lewis reporting live tonight from US 6 in Quincy.
Country living can be lonely.
Best friend anybody could ask for.
But an English pit bull named Boz brought a sense of warmth to Jay Dallahan's rural refuge.
He was just the smartest dog ever, and, I mean, gentle. Children would get on him and ride him. I mean, he never, ever was aggressive.
Jay and Boz played together, ate together, even slept together. That was until Monday. While best friends sat inside watching TV, a rookie deputy with the Stark County Sheriff's Department drove up Jay's gravel driveway to deliver child custody papers.
All of a sudden I hear a loud hey, and my dog bolted out the door.
Once on the porch, Boz sprinted toward the deputy, who pulled out his handgun, hopped onto the hood of a car, and fired 2 shots at the pit bull, who let out a brief moan before collapsing in the front yard.
All he kept saying after he killed him was, "Dispatch, I need somebody out here. Vicious pit bull just tried to attack me," you know, and spun it around and made it look like the dog was horrible, and he wasn't. He was a good dog.
A dog, Jay says, whose curiosity, not cruelty, cost him his life.
It's sad, but scary that, you know, because they can just come on your property, whether you got to beware of dog sign or not, and be justified for killing your animal just because of the way he looked and the way he ran out to want to sniff you. Just a simple honk of the horn would have saved him.
For most folks, flowers help cut out life's stress.
Yes.
A sensation florist Stephanie Pickens hasn't smelled.
But I got this nice hot pink.
Since February 1st.
I mean, there's like 12 of us here today, and you know what? We're bumping each other, but you know, we have a smile and we're having a good time doing it.
After all, Valentine's Day is Pickens' busiest.
Red is love, yellow is friendship, pink is for perfect happiness.
With customers ordering 4,000 roses alone. Across town, Cupid is also serving up an entree of big business at South Bend's newest restaurant, Cafe Navarre.
Pretty much since the calendar turned over, 1st of February, the phone started ringing.
And it hasn't stopped since.
How many people in your group?
The earliest reservation now available is 9 at night. However, the food is still promised to be a delight.
Milk chocolate, you said?
Of course, romantics love chocolate too.
Yes, I would definitely say that.
For proof, just visit the South Bend Chocolate Cafe, where employees have made more than 300 pounds of chocolate-covered strawberries for Tuesday's big rush.
Come from our regulars to people that'll drive, miles to come here to get just that special gift for their special someone.
Because chocolate not only melts a girl's heart, it fills her stomach too.
I'm glad there's chocolate in the world, exactly.
As snow falls outside Covenant Christian, powder of another sort is sucked up inside.
Glass and blood and everything all over the place.
A place 115 kids call school. One Austin Weinhoft destroyed.
Looks like this is the pipe here that he used to break the window.
That window led to smashed computers, broken tables, and the mess from fire extinguishers.
It's just really heartbreaking to see all that time and effort put in, and then all of a sudden we got to do a lot of it all over again.
But things started here Sunday night after a shirtless Weinhoft escaped from a local hospital and came to Mishawaka's Winding Brook neighborhood. He quickly started knocking on people's doors, asking to be taken inside. A flood of 911 calls hit St. Joe County, including a call from this house.
911, what's the address for your emergency?
There's a man running outside my house with no shirt on, tapping on my windows.
So there's a man outside with no shirt on?
Yeah.
Does he appear to be, intoxicated, or?
It's very difficult to tell. It looked like he was running from someone.
911, address to emergency.
I live in Winding Brook in Mishawaka, and my husband was out in the driveway near the garage, and there was a guy running without a shirt on, and he said somebody was trying to kill him. So strange.
A strange night that's hard to sweep under the rug, with 1 week until Christmas break ends.
You'll never know what he was thinking at the time of doing that, but all we can do is pray that he's going to get the help that he needs, in the near future.
Tonight, just before 6, we continue to share the findings of our 3-part investigative series, Testing the Waters. Last night, we took you undercover as News Center 16 collected ice from 18 local restaurants. That ice was taken to a state and EPA-certified lab, which found the vast majority of samples contained high levels of coliform bacteria and E. coli, neither of which should be swimming in your ice. News Center 16's Kevin Lewis took our results to the poorest performers. So, Kevin, what did restaurant managers have to say about these findings?
Mo, it really varied from location to location, but there was one similarity. Not one of these restaurants knew it was serving customers dirty ice. Now, fact is, bacteria is invisible to the plain eye, meaning it is crucial for restaurants to have proper sanitary procedures in place. Unfortunately, though, it has taken this report for certain eateries to clean up their act.
Sure, why not? Take care. Thank you so much.
Whether fast food,
$2, please.
bar food,
Let's have an iced tea and a cup of ice.
or fine dining at its best, everyone has, at some point, consumed ice outside their own kitchen. That's why you should take a close look at this tray of bacteria grown from restaurant ice in our area. The visual just might send a chill down your spine.
It's an issue. It indicates that you have some kind of contamination. You want to know the source. Where's the contamination come from?
With our laboratory results in hand, News Center 16 traveled to 5 facilities that served us filthy ice, hoping to melt away future contamination. Our first stop was the Golden Dragon Buffet on South 11th Street in Niles.
My name's Kevin Lewis. I'm with WNDU TV.
It was here on 2 separate occasions that the all-you-can-eat diner served us ice with more than you can handle E. coli.
Does it disturb you knowing that there's fecal matter?
Very disturbing. We don't know what's going on.
What do you say to customers, that see these numbers? What do you say to make them feel better about coming to your facility in the future?
But instead of addressing the cold hard truth, the manager simply shook her head and locked herself in the kitchen.
Ma'am? The whole reason we're here, we want to be able to give you guys the option to talk with us.
Refusing to talk or show us what the freezer looked like.
Do you mind showing us the kitchen and how you guys...
No. We learned very little about the buffet's contamination source. Next was the Asian Grill Buffet in Benton Harbor.
Your guys' facility came back with bacteria, E. coli, coliform bacteria, on 2 different occasions here.
With no English-speaking supervisor on duty, the hostess called on a former manager.
Of course, E. coli is fecal matter, and just trying to figure out exactly how that's ending up in the ice customers are consuming.
Her response? An independent test would be performed. Despite multiple follow-up calls, we've yet to see those results or speak to a real manager.
Hey there, how you doing?
We heard a similar response from Brothers Bar and Grill, where only weeks before a bartender served us ice with 2 shots of E. coli.
Can you guys make any comments, or is that something that would have to come from the general manager?
Yeah, I can't make any comments on camera.
In a statement released to News Center 16, company's COO, Scott Severson, said, quote, "Our operational procedures not only meet, but exceed any and all laws, codes, and regulations," and added, "We've never had a confirmed case of a foodborne illness in the 22 years we've been in business, which spans across 19 locations and 10 states." Even so, our investigation did prompt management to hire its own lab. Those results showed no bacteria.
I'm a reporter with WNDU.
Soho Japanese Bistro in Granger was also quick to comment, promising to immediately correct whatever caused 5 E. coli colonies to appear in one single cup of ice. And then there's CJ's Pub in downtown South Bend. You can't tell by staring at it, but the cup of ice bartenders handed us had 23 E. coli colonies festering within.
Does that surprise you, or?
Yeah, it surprises me a lot. I don't know how that could be.
Do you
Like
guys?
you said, something, I mean, maybe something may fall in there or something. But that's true of any restaurant or any bar with an ice bin.
In a phone call later that day, co-owner Cindy Medic blamed the E. coli we found on the distributor that provides her bar with all of its ice. While that may be the case, as we reported in Part 1, the health department has cited CJ's with multiple ice violations. One report details a mysterious liquid found dripping into the customer ice bin. Although the FDA does regulate and test commercial ice bagging facilities, we were surprised to learn not one government agency oversees the microbiology of ice served in restaurants, gas stations, and bars. But why? Health officials say it all boils down to the bottom line.
You would be looking at an incredible expense if this were suddenly added, to the inspection list.
Meaning cash-strapped county health departments across Indiana and Michigan are forced to make visual inspections, a formality we discovered does little good.
You're not going to see anything. You might smell something, but as far as seeing it, these are microscopic. I mean, these are tiny, tiny.
For example, nothing about the ice pouring out of this soda machine appears questionable. That is until you place a 1 milliliter sample under a scientific microscope, and voila, E. coli can be found stirring like a school of fish in water.
There's absolutely something wrong. The E. coli absolutely should not be there, not even one. Not a single one, not a single E. coli should be in your drinking water.
And that's what's interesting. While ice is seemingly unregulated, its liquid state is heavily controlled, with EPA mandating all city water to contain 0 total coliform or E. coli colonies at all times.
In fact, if any of South Bend's 3 water filtration plants detected just 1 E. coli colony within its system,
the city would legally be required to issue a boil order for the 120,000 residents it serves. And that's the double standard, as the dirtiest ice we tested had E. coli more than 5 times this nation's boil order threshold.
That not only tell me the ice is contaminated, but I also worry about what do they do in their routine? Is their meat, is their bun clean? So it's kind of initiate a lot of scary thoughts.
Food for thought that next time may make you say, hold the ice.
Now, according to health department officials, the likelihood of getting ill from the levels and forms of E. coli and coliform bacteria we found are minimal. That said, children under the age of 5, the elderly, and people with weakened immune systems are more susceptible. All in all, health advocates say our findings should serve more as a yuck factor than a true health risk for consumers. Mel.